it was a fucking pink thing with love and a gay heart on it. It was a lot. I had it like, but I was like, shit.
All you gotta do is have faith. Glad my niggas ain't never lost faith.
That's a real
I paid my dues. Nigga don't play, you'll lose. You probably couldn't walk a mile in them. Nigga, do you know how much you pay for the shoes? Yeah,
I was raised in the zoo.
a nigga never played by the rules.
Some niggas try to play me back in high school. Shit, I fucked around and made the news. I never been a sucker. She sucked me so good that I think I love her.
These niggas injured, they gon' need to recover. You can come over, but you cannot eat leftovers.
Shout out to Lucci. Performing at State Farm tonight. First concert home.
But I'm about my green like I'm standing.
When this drop, Austin?
13. Came to my school and performed this at a pep rally, bro. We didn't even know who Lucci was. Threw some money, though. Threw some money up and everybody ran on the floor.
How much?
It was all ones. I don't know. We didn't know they were ones.
I got my ex-boyfriend tickets to Wife and
Really?
Skip to the schoolie verse, the Educate X.
I've never seen Lucci perform or anything
I ain't
like
see
that.
him.
I ain't never seen him perform either.
Never mind. I ain't gonna say nothing.
We back. Voices in the Street, the podcast.
We're here.
That right there was YFN Lucci featuring Schoolboy, Wonder Why. Helped blow him up in the city of Atlanta.
Okay.
He is performing tonight at State Farm. I think this is his first show, or first big show back in the city since he's been out of jail.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lucci. Shout out to being free. Shout out to making money.
I never actually listened to that song in the car, or like turn it on myself.
Very popular song.
Only in the club.
Yeah.
Is how I know that song.
There's a definitely Slim. Get to the second verse for Brother X. He, you know what I'm saying, we educating him on Schoolboy this past month. I've been giving him an Atlanta crash course as a North Carolina nigga. Just trying to lead him. You know, he sends me Petey Pablo music. I send him Atlanta music.
I do not sing to
No.
It's a whole DJ out here.
You hear him in the background harmonizing. You know what I'm saying? That's a perfect harmony.
All you gotta do is have faith.
Yeah, ain't never lost faith. See how you gotta hold that note right there? You can only do that if you're a prodigy.
I got
it. Say?
Cut it, Slim.
Hold on.
Diamond dripping off
What was that?
what another nigga think.
See, they don't make music like that nowadays.
What kind of music they make now?
Yeah, what type of music they make
This
now?
violent ass shit these children listen to, that y'all let them listen to. You know what I'm saying?
y'all?
I ain't a parent. It's only two parents up here. My kids don't listen to this bullshit. Some of your kids listen to this violent ass shit. You know what I'm saying? My kids like Elmo.
You don't got kids.
I got nephews. They like Elmo.
My kid listens to Michael Jackson and Stevie Wonder. So
Yeah, they all start there.
no, we gonna stay there.
We all start with Michael Jackson. Everybody had a Thriller stage and shit like that and moonwalking. I told y'all the first time a nigga got pranked, my cousin told me I could, you know, the End of Time video where the nigga turned into the dust?
Remember the time.
Cousin was like, my cousin was like, you could play the game if you could do that. Did that shit for like an hour.
Trying
Just
to
spinning.
turn it to
Trying to
dust.
turn
Just spinning, nigga.
Yo, the shit our cousins used
I was
to
like,
try to
five. I was in that bitch, boy. I was like, nigga, I could do that. Nigga. I turn it to dust. Tell me. Nigga just let me rock. Turned on 106 and Park.
Oh wow.
Fuck, nigga.
I forget how old you are. I'm thinking like 90s when your cousins make you used to do crazy shit so you can play the Sega, but you know.
This is like 2002.
You didn't have a Sega.
Yeah, I did. Well, I didn't.
You
The first
wasn't
game I had
blowing,
was a
you wasn't
PlayStation
blowing
1.
in the carts.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, it was.
Were you?
The cartridges
Yes,
was
Nintendo
crazy.
60. People were playing Nintendo for.
You gotta say Nintendo
No,
64.
No.
I was gonna say
that
Nintendo
was one.
64 because
That was the
we
color
talking
clear one. I'm talking about the Sega.
We talking
like
about Sega
Sonic.
Genesis
No, I
number
didn't play
one
Sega.
and Nintendo number one.
the first video game I
Mortal
had was a
Kombat.
Not
PlayStation.
before you got Super Nintendo.
I didn't own, the
Okay.
first game system I had was a PlayStation 1.
Yeah, I had a PlayStation 1 as well.
I
NBA
did too.
Live,
I was playing
Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot. Shout out to back in the day when girls used to play games like that. Like now girls just play like any game, so it's like everybody a gamer. But back in the day it was specific games that girls would play, and it was like Spiral. What's
Crash
what you said?
Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot.
Bandicoot. Anything that was kind of like they used to make games. I feel like that were like less. I guess like
I played Sonic. I played Mortal Kombat.
Sonic, Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
I
I
wasn't
played
a Mortal
Mortal
Kombat
Kombat.
kid.
Wasn't it like Street Fighter?
Fighter 1 and 2.
That's a real question for y'all out there. Were you a Taken player growing up, or did you play Mortal Kombat? Because in my house we played Taken, so I ain't
Tekken,
grew
yeah.
up.
Tekken?
I played
I
it
ain't
all.
grew up playing Mortal Kombat. So
I played it all.
for real,
Yeah,
my mom
Tekken.
would have
I was
tripped
more
out.
so Mortal
Yeah.
Kombat for Sasha.
You were. I don't remember.
Virtual Fighter, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know what that is. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
know.
You got me.
Capcom versus
The kids are fighting in real life nowadays.
Yeah,
the
they
kids,
are.
the kids are fighting in real life. The adults are fighting in real life. Everything is bad. Everything is good. Blah 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 blah. But we're back.
So what we getting at today, Austin? Because it's tag, you're it.
Tag on it. It's not an STD.
Huh?
I trying to think of the best way to. Okay, I mean we're gonna save the world today, guys.
Okay, how
Y'all,
so?
y'all ready?
Yeah, let's get
We're
into
gonna
it.
talk about the youth. Been looking at videos all over. You seen the video I seen, right?
I
Did you watch? Did you get to watch the video? What did you think when you saw the video? We'll tell you guys what the video is in 1 second. What did you think when you saw the video?
It looks stupid.
Okay.
And the whole time that the girl had the gun in her face, she trying to fix her eyelashes. That's what I saw.
I thought she was trying to stop herself from crying a little bit.
No, that was her trying to get her eyelashes together.
Oh, they all
Like, but I don't know, but that just lets me know like where the kids are.
So what
today.
so I sent the guys and gal, you know,
Thank you.
to the guys and gal, a video that went viral recently of just high school kids and like how they handling like beefs and what they're doing now and how far things have come and like where we can actually get to the root of it. Like where does it come from and how did we end up here? Because I mean, if you paid attention to just culture and stuff like that for the past 15 years, you probably can tell where the starting point is, but how do we come out of this? It's a question that people probably smarter than me have the answer to.
So wait a minute, let's describe the video and where it's coming from.
So in this video that popped up and went viral, you just see different teenagers in different situations where they've caught their ops. And they putting their ops on camera with guns in their face on their personal Instagrams or Finstas or spam pages or whatever. However they feel like they have a little anonymity. Oh, shit. Where they feel like they don't have any culpability. They're posting it for clout, views, to show people that people are pussy. However you want to explain it, they're detailing their crimes as high school students and posting them. I mean, a couple years ago, y'all remember the Kia boys recording all of their stuff, recording themselves stealing everybody's cars and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
How-tos on how to steal a car without keys and shit like that. So that's where we are.
Well, how did we get here though? Like, where do you feel like could be the starting point
This ain't
to where
nothing
this
new
is?
in my eyes.
Well, it's not. It's certain aspects of it that are new. So you ask like where I think it comes from. I think it comes from music and culture.
Okay.
And like what's deemed cool and what's rewarded or has been rewarded the past 15 years, I would say at this point. So like when you see people like people have always been violent and running down on each other and trying to embarrass each other and stuff like that. But the aspect of including social media and trying to embarrass people to the point where you incriminate yourself, that's a new thing the past 15, 20 years, I would say. When it comes to the root of why a 14, 15, 16-year-old has a stick or a fucking gun with an extendo in it and can draw down on another 15-year-old, that's probably going to have to be laid at the foot of a little bit of hip-hop and a little bit of parenting.
Okay. So we had this conversation before we got here to give some context. And I think, this is me personally, I think if you're going to have to pinpoint anywhere, I think you got to pinpoint Chief Keef. Like we gotta talk about Chief Keef. For those who are living under a rock who don't know who Chief Keef is, I would say Chief Keef is the father of drill rap, right? Drill rap is Chicago-based rap that has now expanded far beyond just Chicago, where they pretty much talk about killing other people. The difference between that and just regular gangster rap, right, is that they actually start naming like who it is that they are actually.
Drill rap there.
Yeah, drill rap is like they naming who the ops are. They're going after them, you know, for revenge, clout, whatever it is that whatever their rationale is. In Austin and I's conversation, I'm like, well, gangster rap has been doing this for years. 50 came out, you know, talking about how Ja Rule was a wankster. You know what I'm saying? People have always been killing people and talking about killing people in their rap, but I think the difference is like the incrimination. So can you give, for those who don't know, Austin, the history lesson of like, okay, Chief Keef drops I think it's I Don't Like. Is that the song that kind of like you would say like pushed it out? Because that's the song that I have reference to is that I Don't Like. You know, I know Sosa. You know what I mean? Sosa was.
If you
was
talking
big,
about
but,
like the beginnings of the drill thing,
yeah.
I would say the jumping off point would be. Well, I mean, if you really want to like, if you really want to get like hip hop nerdy on some shit, the real person that like started it would be Waka Flocka. But that Waka Flocka transitioned really fast into all of the people in Chicago were.
What song from Waka Flocka would
All
you
of
want
them.
to say?
All of the non-radio songs that Waka used to make were gangster street songs about like doing crazy shit. He was like one of the first people really doing that publicly. But the people in the North, I didn't realize this. The people in the Midwest were huge fans of like the Brick Squad shit. The Brick Squad, the Waka, the Gucci. That's why so many of their songs, like early 2010s, they sound like Gucci Mane, like kind of songs. But so yeah, Chief Keef would be the jumping off point, I would say, the Don't Like, because when Don't Like came out, it showed that you can make a national hit record straight up talking about niggas that live a street away from you. And
Was
to
he
the point,
banned off of some stuff though from that? Like,
well, he was banned not for the song, but because
His
them
actions.
niggas was teenagers and they was wild as fuck.
Okay.
We can't bring. He just performed at the BET Awards for the first time like a year ago. They wouldn't let him in the BET Awards because it was like, bro, these niggas are wild. Chief Keef the first person I saw post like sex on Instagram. Like when we was in high school, he posted a fan or something giving him head, and that was like the first time I seen somebody get kicked off Instagram.
Oh.
So Chief Keef used to do a lot of wild shit back in the day, but you got to remember, like I told you, we talking about a nigga that was 15, bro. He was 15 years old doing and saying all that shit. He had millions of people dissing people that were dead that lived like a street over from him. So like what he's talking about is I gave him the quick little buzz down like Chicago history. I'm not a Chicago historian, so don't kill me in the comments. Spark Notes, basically Chief Keef drops the Don't Like song. A guy in Chicago, another child, basically, a nigga named JoJo, drops another song in response to that. I think it's called BDK or GDK. I can't remember what's the name of the song. I think it's BDK, dissing the people that are with Chief Keef and all of that. He drives by one day. I show X the video because this is like how shit started, where niggas started recording themselves doing like the wildest shit. JoJo like recorded himself driving by Lil Reese and some other niggas, and all you can hear in the background is like them arguing, but as he like driving off, all you hear is Lil Reese in the background screaming, we might have to take this out, but you hear him in the background screaming, we gonna kill you, nigga, we gonna kill you. 2 days later, the nigga was dead. And he was like 15, 16. And that shit started like a huge thing in Chicago, but for niggas that didn't live in Chicago like me, we was like, oh, this nigga, Lil Reese crazy. Lil Reese a real nigga. It kind of started. People realized that you could gain clout or fame for like if it comes out that you like stand on business or you're not to be played with. It's virility in that. So you saw that spread like over this last 15 years. You seen it spread to like a couple years ago when I told y'all about like what was going on in Jacksonville. You saw Fulio died last year or whatever, eventually from that situation. The niggas in Philadelphia got Philly drill, the New York niggas with the New York drill where they dissing each other dead homies and shit like that, recording themselves, running down on people. The biggest drill artist in New York went down for murder. He committed like on the random in a full designer fit. He was easily picked out because the nigga had on some one-on-one jeans. But he just on the random, he didn't like a nigga, got into it with a nigga, killed the nigga. Life over with. Most of those niggas done, now that I think about it.
And I think why this is important though is because at some point our culture started getting into wanting to be viral to be the thing that made you famous or made you important.
Is that black culture or is that just
So that's my question.
Well, here's the thing.
Society.
I think I'm always going to attribute to black culture because we create everything.
You're right.
All right.
You're
So
right.
everybody else is just a copycat of us.
You're right.
I'd also attribute that to hip hop. And I would say that early on, growing up, I would say in the 90s and the 2000s, there was always a point of you living out what you said. Right? Like, in order for you to be a real, that's why like people would clown people who would like ghostwrite because it's you're not living out what you say, which is a part of our culture. It's like you need to be authentic. But I don't feel like even when Jadakiss and Beans and 50 and Game and Jay and Nas and T.I. and Little Flip and anybody else who had like a beef situation with each other, Young Buck, and you know what I mean? They wasn't. There were instances where it could have got heightened. You know what I'm saying? After Biggie and Pac's situation, and we saw the murder, there were opportunities for heightened like problems, like you know what I mean? Hot 97. When 50 and them ran up on Game outside of Hot 97, or
how about when 50 got stabbed, nigga? How about if Ja Rule and them would have went on the record and be like, "Hey, my man right here stabbed this bitch ass nigga," like all that. That's basically like how shit goes.
Right, but the difference is that in the rules of the streets, you don't want to tell on yourself and incriminate yourself because the police are coming to lock you up, right? And so even with Many Men, Wish Death Upon Me, like. We know who the many men are.
Well, I didn't at the time.
We know like if you were paying attention, you know what happened and how he got shot 9 times and stuff like that. But he's not about to sit there and say this person did it, because then that would be snitching.
I would argue that in 2001, it was very hard for anybody that wasn't from the area that y'all are from to know anything about why this nigga got shot, other than what you saw in the movies and what you heard in music. Now it's like.
That was the point of like there's always been this coded language that is only supposed to be between those who know and those who don't know.
I mean, that's what also makes it when you can creatively say something without actually incriminating yourself. That's also what makes this person said lyricist or do these double entendres and like, ooh, I know what he's talking about, but
you don't know what
you don't know what they're talking about. So I think that's what also helped in that particular era. I do think like the kids now. I just lost my train of thought. Go ahead.
I think the coded language is important, but I think now we're seeing. I don't know. Epidemic might be too strong of a word, or maybe it's not.
I don't think epidemic is a crazy. I mean, maybe it's the wrong term, but I don't think it's.
It's close.
Like it's pretty close to what you would call what's going on with. I mean, if it's trickled down to middle and high school, and I've sent you clips and stuff already of like what goes on in regular high schools and stuff like that, day to day. Huh?
It came to my mind. So what I was about to say is, I think when you name off like T.I., Lil Flip, those particular beefs at that time, how old were they?
They were grown.
They were grown.
20-year-olds.
How old was like Chief Keef and Lil Reese and these?
Well, they
teenagers.
He was like 15.
So I feel like there's a big difference in that space of
even
maturity,
whatever, that they're also, they don't, then this is where you take the part and you blame their parents.
But hold on.
And maybe the product of unfortunately, the product of the environment. Not to say that T.I. and Flip and like all our rappers have come from different spaces, but they also had a lot on the line, because at that point they were kind of national, stars to a degree. They had their songs on 106 and Park. We saw them on MTV. We saw, you know what I'm saying? And these kids in particular feels like it's very much so like in the neighborhood, and then it somehow found its way out.
Can I tag in real quick? Also, and I promise, this is the only way I am for, and now I said this to Austin too, is that yes, we cannot ignore the systematic things that are happening around Chicago and these low income areas or wherever, that are happening that's causing people to respond the way that they are. However, when you are 15 or 16 years old, you know right from wrong.
You do. I'm not taking that away. I'm not taking that away.
Yeah, you know the consequences. Okay, well, I disagree with that, because I know he said he doesn't agree that you know right from wrong from when you're 15, 16
You know right from wrong.
You know right from wrong. You also know that there are consequences.
You might not emotionally be.
You know there are consequences for your actions also. You know there are consequences for your actions. If you touch a stove, you know you're going to get burnt. That's pain.
Yeah.
You know there are consequences for the actions. You may not know the weight of what said consequences are going to be. So I don't believe that Chief Keef, when he made I Don't Like, knew that 10, 15 years later, he would have a whole tree of people who have been impacted and are dang near the sons of him and daughters. You know what I'm saying?
Too.
I don't think that he may have known that when he made
No, I
that.
don't think he knows.
But I do know, just like I use this point, Nuck If You Buck is a fight song made by teenagers
Yeah.
that was targeting whatever
At
group
the time.
of people that was at their school. You know what I'm saying? And they were saying Nuck If You Buck. And fight music was a whole thing for a long period of time.
Yeah.
They knew what they was doing, and they were consequences. They also was trying to, make a hit song and get up out of it. There were two things that were happening at once. So that's why I'm not going to say that is just the parents' fault. I will agree that, lack of parenting or maybe good parenting or parents, whatever may not have been involved, is a catalyst. But also, they knew that there was going to be some consequence, even if they didn't know what the consequence was
But do they
gonna be.
really care though? When you are in a
Now, that's a different thing.
When you are a part of these said places like the hood of Chicago and you know what I'm saying, or projects or whatever the case may be, do you really care? At this point, it's about survival. So yeah, you was talking about me. I don't know if you're gonna come shoot me up, so I'm gonna say this before you even get to me and my people for just to try to survive the situation.
I think that most things that become the norm are just learned behaviors, and I think that even in, and eventually we'll move away from Chief Keef because he's not responsible for the end of the world. But what I'm saying is, even him existing to a certain extent, like, came from the negative. Like, my perception of Chief Keef when he came out was, a nigga in Chicago got a fire song, and he made a video while he was on probation for shooting at the police. That was all I knew about this nigga, and it was enough for me to check his music out. And the nigga music ended up being cold, and that birthed like this movement. No, I don't think that at 15 years old, he thought he was going to start a genre of music and thought that people would, like, all over the country adopt what he's doing and dissing people and saying people's name. I mean,
Yeah,
to
I
a
agree with
certain
you.
extent, like just think about it. People all over the world, fuck the country, was saying they smoking on Tuka for like years. Tuka a real person. It's a person with niggas that love him, that live near. That's why you remember we talked about Chief Keef? I was like, Chief Keef got the fuck out of Chicago because he had to get the fuck out of Chicago because he was the biggest rapper in the world, but he was saying niggas' names that lived right there, and that shit is dangerous. I don't necessarily feel like he's to blame for being 15 years old and expressing himself through music, especially doing something that nobody had done before. Like I told you, I think that what it comes down to is that we as people, well, not we as people, I really don't want to say most black people, but a lot of black people tend to lean towards what they find cool. It's just what it is. And to a lot of people, gangster shit is cool. It's just what it is. So when you see somebody doing certain things and living a certain lifestyle, and they actually are sticking to what they're saying in their raps, it makes you want to lean towards that. And if you want to become a rapper, you want to become somebody that reaches that stature, and you feel like you just as tough as them, you might also want to make that kind of music. So that's why you had, when Chief Keef came out, then not even a year or so later, all of a sudden G Herbo comes out, Lil Baby comes out, Fredo Santana, FBG Duck, King Von, all these different people that was just niggas in the street, for lack of a better term, that saw this nigga get fame and notoriety basically for saying people's names to them. Even though, like, I think he's talented, he learned how to make beats and all that shit. But if you're just a nigga and you there and like, hey, I know X, and then tomorrow X the biggest rapper on the planet, and the only thing X did was say fuck Austin, fuck Dez, blah, 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 blah. Shit, fuck X, fuck Slim, nigga, we in the booth. That's how quick shit can turn. And then you got niggas, I was telling X, like, I mean, just how simple it is, like, the niggas in New York, like, that were doing the Bronx drill or whatever, that adopted that UK London sound or whatever, they would take names of the niggas in Chicago that were like a nigga named C-Day was like somebody that got killed. So, you know what I'm saying, RP to him or and his family. But, like, let's say they take C-Day. One of them niggas in New York would just be like, call me C-Day. And they'd be like, nigga, are you cosplaying a gangster? And you, like, real life shooting niggas, but you telling these niggas to call you another nigga name? That's just how, like, quick shit'll happen. Like, even here, when we had the artists like Anti the Menace a couple years ago, and I was like, yo, they got these young niggas are making drill music in Atlanta where they all were just basically dissing niggas that they would run into and have issues with and expecting those issues. That shit was short-lived here, because you can't exist in a place like this and do some shit like that where everybody got these crazy-ass guns.
King Von, he got shot out here.
King Von got shot out here because he not from a place like this.
Yeah.
Like, Chicago is wild, and them niggas are killing each other, and that shit is terrible. But they ain't in no state where niggas can walk around with assault rifles and shit in their backseat, and nobody give a fuck. And he went, and he did some shit trying to be tough with some niggas, and them niggas killed him.
So essentially, it's like you taking street beef and turning it into music.
Well, that was basically it.
And I'm just trying to, because of course, I'm going to go back to what you said with the whole back in our time, in the early 2000s. I feel like that was like music beef.
No, well... Sorry,
to a degree.
I'll let you finish.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, oh, these are regular niggas.
Well, it depends on what the situation is. So, like, 50 and Ja was street beef that turned into music beef.
Very stupid.
But what their beef was done was, but they were still, they were already artists when they were beefing.
Yes. He was
They
beefing
were-
with a nigga named
T.I. and Flip were artists when they started beefing.
That's true.
It wasn't no street in the same hood type of thing. Flip is from Texas and T.I. is from...
She's saying there wasn't no local shit that was going major. It wasn't like T.I. and Shawty Lo was beefing, and now they both huge artists.
Oh, you're talking about,
They were
They were beefing
already
out.
artists.
Yes.
And
I
then
will
it
give,
turned into
Just saying
beef.
niggas
Yes.
is artists.
So they
and
were
then would
already,
beef.
there's already a space of I'm
Yes.
better than you. And
Yeah.
so I'm going to talk about you or
This
whatever
shit-
instant they had maybe at a club or some shit like that.
Right.
Versus these guys here that y'all are referring to this is some local in my hood shit,
Right.
and I'm about to talk about you, and in hopes that everybody else hear it, so that you know that I'm letting you know.
We
Yeah.
started to reward you're right. Once we rewarded that the first time, and niggas my age and younger saw, oh, this is how you become a rapper. This is how you become or a street rapper at least. I gotta really talk my shit, and it gotta be about some real shit.
Well, then add that so that we can kind of transition on. Add that to, I can talk about this nigga to be a rapper, and let me put it on Instagram and TikTok so that they can see, and I can go viral. And then now we have certain instances where you send us videos of kids.
and I can
Kidnapping.
embarrass you. I think that's also the
And
thing.
embarrass
And
Yeah.
that's the major thing is that it opened the door to not stepping away from music. Little black kids and black teenagers figured out that other black teenagers and other little niggas like seeing crazy shit. And we reward that. And I'm not talking about the regular, like, let's make a video where we take all the peanut butter and dump it on the table. I'm not talking about, little niggas don't, like, I'm sorry.
And let me back up a little bit again. Because you said it, one, I'm not too familiar with all of, like, drill rap and all of that stuff or whatever, but it's also making me think of, we come from, and you probably remember too, was World Star. Like, we used to literally go on the internet to see World Star because we knew somebody was going to put a fight up there. We knew that somebody was about to get down. We knew we knew it was about to be some trash shit.
That's what I told him we was talking about. So,
like, that came from, that was, I don't know what year.
And World Star was the early 2010s, and then it just slowly went away as Instagram got more and more popular because we were able to find the videos for ourselves.
And it got to the point with World Star where I was like, I'm not watching that shit. Like, it
Well,
was
it was
like
a fight.
If I was in a class in college next to somebody and we was in computer class or whatever, and I see you watching World Star, I'm like, bro, come on. Like, because it was just you already knew what it was. We sitting here watching people fight each other.
But I think that World Star, Media
It's helping,
Takeout,
yeah.
like
It
all
all
of those
helped.
things
Yeah.
played a role
to
in
what we seeing now.
It played a role
Yeah.
in desensitizing what,
and
like,
in
I've
culture,
seen the
because World Star was literally just showing black folks doing it.
and the
Sprinkle
nigga
of
that
white people.
RP the Q from World Star or whatever, but that shit wasn't good for the community. And yeah, that was basically, I mean, like, World Star, all of it was a step. All of these things happened around the same time.
Yeah.
You talking about the same time too?
Dang, so is that our fault?
Yes,
is our
that's my
generation's
point.
fault?
That was where I was going to land, nigga. It's not his fault.
Is it our
It's
generation? Because we
fault.
try to blame certain generations.
I feel responsible. I feel responsible for that.
Hey, we are also the generation that know about internet and don't. And so when we got our hands on the internet, we had these little things like World Star, Media Takeout, and you know what I'm saying, even TMZ and all that shit, because they be posting stuff too. Besides the celebrity things, but
your kids
is it our
should know
fault?
it's the generation of parents that followed that era.
Because those
of music.
kids are our kids.
Those kids are not. Well, your kids.
Those kids are not our kids.
Yeah,
I'm
your kids.
not saying it's our kids.
We're
I'm saying
millennials, okay?
I'm saying our
Yeah.
age, because I have one of my homegirls. She had her daughter is now about to go to college. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
yeah. So that
these
age, yeah.
they're in high school.
Yeah.
So technically, this is our.
It's direct. I mean,
Not my baby. My
you
baby
see-
3. But
you can see like shit just changed. People stop playing the clean version of songs around their kids.
can't
People
even find
curse
clean
around
stuff
it.
no more.
It's harder to find clean stuff. People have no problem exposing their kids pretty early on to like hyper violent. And I might not be like I for sure my little cousin would come when he was in middle school and high school. I would have him listening to gangster shit. More so because I wanted to even them out, but I used to just do that. And I'm not saying it's completely on us or parents. What I'm saying is that if you look at all of this shit as entertainment and you look at these niggas as not the smartest in the world, you don't want to emulate that. And the only way you land there is if you got somebody telling you, hey, that shit is stupid. All the time, basically. And that, whether it be your mom, your dad, your uncle, your cousin, your brother, you need somebody to tell you, hey, them niggas are not smart. That nigga is lucky. That is what that nigga is. He is not smart. That nigga is lucky. That nigga could be dead. That nigga could be broke. That nigga could be in jail. That nigga hit it. Shout out to him. Hope he makes it. But 9 times out of 10, that nigga is an idiot. My favorite rapper is Young Thug. You think I think Young Thug's smart? His name is Young Thug. No. But I fucking like the music. Like, I don't have an issue with you living your life how you live your life because I'm not going to judge you.
I mean, but see how that trickled out for him. He was on trial.
He also
And was
beat
in
it.
jail.
He also beat
Okay,
it
cool.
by
But
not.
I mean, it still doesn't
by
mean
not.
it doesn't take away what he did and how he is.
Oh no. I'm not saying that he like. Oh yeah, I beat my case. I spent all this fucking money. What I'm saying is like y'all was just talking about 20 years ago. People were speaking codes. Apparently, his shit was coded enough that they couldn't take him to jail. So, but the artists up under that are even more blatant. So it's not gonna pan out for you. I think that the real issue is not just the music. It goes to music because it's the next easy. It's the closest thing. But it's really the virility that people chase and where it comes in at where it starts. Like that dopamine rush. Like I can remember when niggas first started curating their Instagrams and doing weird shit and deleting all the pictures and then posting one picture to say they was finna do something, like drop a T-shirt or some shit like that. Like seeing people chase whatever they see other people do because they want that same admiration and that love and that pat on the back, that's how we ended up where we end up. And then when you compound that with the most popular artists or the street level artists, maybe not the most popular artists, because for the last 15 years, the most popular artists have been like Drake, Kendrick, Cole, in rap and stuff like that. But
And the niggas are smart.
that's a certain audience. But when you get to what is actually popular in the streets or like in the different hoods throughout the country, whatever them niggas are doing is usually what the trend is. Drake don't really Drake and them not gonna set the trends for teenagers and shit like that. When the perfect example is when the beef was going on last year. I'm texting my little cousin that's a freshman this year at USF. I'm like, are you and your friends talking about the beef? He's like, nah, we don't really care.
But
Like,
did you
damn.
think for that particular beef, did you really think it was going to get to the point of somebody going to kill each other?
No, but
I
I'm
think
saying
because
I
of
would have
their
been
type
interested
of-
still.
Because of their type of star status, I don't think it would have ever gotten
When I was his age, or I guess I was younger, but when I was a kid, I didn't really know anything about Jay-Z and Nas, and I was still interested in Jay-Z versus Nas because that was what everybody was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was talking about this. The youth didn't really give a fuck about that like that. People that wanted to, I guess college age kids, I guess might have cared, but like the high schools, the middle schools, they weren't that invested in that because it's not their ministry. You know what I'm saying?
It's not their era.
It is, but it's not like.
But I mean, what I mean is like, it's like I noticed because I was DJing, like I DJ'd and I played like TV off or whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, and then it was like, yo, can you play some Bunna B? You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, because that's their thing right now. Like the most popular people are not the people they really checking for, like what's on the radio. It's always about that underground stuff.
I say that all the time.
But and I think you have a point when it comes to like the youth and stuff. One of the things that I thought was interesting in this is that, okay, should millennials take some responsibility? You know what I mean? Is a good
This
point.
we don't land here if niggas my age don't decide. No, this nigga lit.
You know what I'm curious about is what the percentage is of like the kids that we're talking about who do this. What you saying? You know what I'm saying? Who do the kidnapping?
Oh, and do
for
and niggas
viral,
be chilling?
or versus the kids who are. Because I think there is a divide of the millennials, what we have produced of our children.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do see very smart, maybe this is how I've curated my timeline, but I have seen the smart children and the kids who are going to college before they even, at 16 years old, I do see the ones who are creating businesses. And you know what I'm saying? So I'm curious of what the percentage is of this.
It's probably not as bad as we, like, we're having a conversation right now, so it's probably tons of talented, smart.
There's hoods everywhere. There's a pocket of a hood.
It's hoods everywhere, but these schools are full of talented young black kids. That's 100% true. I'm definitely not trying to paint with this big ass brush, but what I will say is, I'll put it like this.
That little bit is enough.
I'll put it like this. The high school I went to, when I got to my high school, it had only been open. I think it opened in 2010. I got there 2011, or 2010, 2011 year. It opened in 09, 2010. When I got there, the school was new. It was pristine, all new shit. This was 2011. No real incidents and stuff like that when I was in high school. A couple of fights. We had like a small riot when Trayvon Martin died, which was honestly literally just a bunch of little niggas decided, hey, let's all walk out and walk to the McDonald's and protest.
Okay.
That was that was the major event. I graduated 2014, 2015 football game. Kid gets killed at a football game. Kid that was at. I'm not gonna speak to what he was doing at the game, but the kid gets killed at the football game. That's 2015. Between this last 10 years. Tons of incidents, tons of fights, to the point where you're not allowed to, hey, you can't come to this game without a parent. You can't do this without somebody there. And even when you do that, there are incidents. They just had a football game against our rivals, our local rivals, a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Shout out to DJ Sturgis. Sturgis came and asked me, damn, you going to the blah, blah, blah game? I said, hell no, nigga. Why would I go where I know a bunch of fucking teenagers finna be and they're going to be tripping? He was like, oh, it's not going to be that bad. I'm going. I was like, all right, nigga. I mean, it's my school, but go ahead. He went, and I wake up the next morning, and I see my school won, beat the fuck out of them. Shout out to my dogs. The kids in the crowd on the home side of the team that lost, losing their fucking mind, throwing shit on the field. The parents and stuff are right there. They throwing stuff. You see the police trying to get over there. All you see is a massive crowd of fucking kids run the opposite way of the police officer. They jumping off of shit. They throwing stuff. There was fights going on. And all I was thinking was, damn, bro, I don't think it was like this.
Well, I'm not.
And they recorded it. All of it was on TikTok.
And I think that's the thing where it's like, because riots have teenagers have always been crazy. Like, I was a crazy teenager and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Start riots and all that stuff. But the problem is we wasn't recording it to incriminate ourselves. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the part where it's like the problem lies in the recognition of doing something stupid to get you some type of fame. And I feel like what teenagers and stuff aren't recognizing is that the feds and the cops are watching, and they will gladly come find you and lock you up. You know what I'm saying? And it's not cool to be in jail. Like, it's not cool to be taken away from your family. It's not cool to have this thing on your record that's going to follow you for so long because you want to seem and appear to be real to these other people who honestly probably don't give a dang about you. But I know when you're in it, in the world, your whole world is like, I got to have my respect. I got to have this or that. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't help also that we live in a world where you can present false information to try to appeal to your argument. Meaning, like, we had this conversation about like what's happening in Chicago, right? Chicago is a byproduct of, you know, not having maybe good infrastructure and money poured into to neighborhood, but you juxtapose that to somewhere like Baltimore, who's I'm sure is probably just as hood as Chicago, but the mayor is putting funding into Baltimore so that it has the lowest crime rate it has ever had. Shout out to you.
For what I can tell, that goes on in Chicago is that they just push all that shit to the right, like that. Like, all right, take all. I mean, y'all, shit. We in Atlanta, bro, where they cleaning up for FIFA. Right. They're cleaning up for the World Cup. Imagine that, like what they doing with the homeless people and all the fucked up shit that's in the hood and stuff down there, and they kind of pushing that shit out the way. Imagine that, but all the fucking time. Because they had, for a while, they had the highest amount of murders and shootings in the country, like every year. And they would have these high weekends where, hey, 30 people shot in Chicago over the 2-day weekend, or Labor Day weekend, 45 people shot, 10 dead and stuff like that. Bro, if you ask a white person about Chicago, Chicago's lovely. It's a beautiful city. It's one of the best cities in the country. You ask a black person about Chicago dangerous as fuck.
But what I'm saying to that is that we are seeing that there are places that have also been known for murder and stuff, like, again, D.C. You know what I'm saying? D.C. is having a low crime rate as well. Even though they have the military that's out there occupying D.C. right now for no apparent reason, right? The stats are still showing that the crime rate is down. Baltimore, the crime rate is down. And I think that if you took some of these, even I got to give it to Mayor Andre Dickens and what he's trying to do with the youth and try like funnel these programs into the youth and whatever like that. If you look at all of these things that are happening, right, at these other cities, and you use that same tactic, you might be able to implement it there, and maybe you won't have these kids out here that are doing these things to try to go viral, or actually doing things that trying to hurt people.
And see, that then opens up a conversation about government, and you know what I'm saying, and how certain spaces and places are
exist for kids.
Are what they're doing and what they're putting their money towards, and also red states, blue states. You know what I'm saying? So what their focus is on. And of course we see a lot of people focus isn't really necessarily on the black community sometimes. These particular places that you're saying have mayors or people in the government of color. You're talking about, we're in Atlanta, Andre Dickens, we have a fucking mayor.
Was that lady, the short, dark, you know that lady that used to go viral for being mayor?
Lightfoot?
Yeah, well, I think she was the mayor in Chicago. Yeah, okay.
For a second. Yeah, and then there's the one in Baltimore and in D.C. You know what I'm saying? So you have to make sure if they're able to, again, it's the government thing. We're not that bad. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's not that, I'm not that well versed on that side, unfortunately. But you just, it just,
I don't know,
they're going to put their money where they want to put their money.
And that's my point. My point is that if they really wanted to help these kids, or if they really saw this as a problem, like we're seeing it as a problem, like why are you incriminating?
It's a bigger picture.
Why are you incriminating yourself?
Maybe they're not seeing like the bigger picture.
I feel.
Go ahead.
And sometimes when we, as the older adults, I think these people who are in these particular positions, they're even older than us.
Yeah,
they probably not even paying attention to what's happening on TikTok. They're like, oh, that's an app for the kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, that's for the kids. So they're not even seeing what Austin is seeing to even point out to say that this is a problem, that we got kids on the internet putting guns to each other and recording it on camera.
I don't even know, like, I understand what both of y'all are saying about infrastructure and government helping. Honestly, I think it comes down to what teenagers find to be cool is basically what it boils down to. And having leadership in your life and having people that kind of point you in the right direction is the only thing I can see that would, because it's non-avoidable, which is why I was saying about my cousin, like when he would come visit, hey, I'm gonna show you all of this shit, show you all of this Atlanta shit, show you all of these songs. Hey, we're gonna watch Paid in Full today. Not because I want him to be like some fucking hood nigga or in the streets. It's because he's really, 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 really fucking smart. And his dad has had him in these private schools, these magnet schools, these schools around people of different cultures and different backgrounds and stuff like that. And I understood that and I appreciated that. And I was like, man, this little nigga is super smart. I think my job as big cousin or big brother to him is to make sure he's well-rounded enough that he's not uncomfortable in any situation, that you can understand the type of nigga you around when you around somebody that's
around
unstable.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you around somebody that's hot-tempered and and easy to jump off. Do you know how to get the fuck out of there without causing a scene? Do you know what it looks like when a nigga is selling drugs? When you walk past somebody at the gas station and he's asking you a question and he keep fucking bothering you, like, hey bruh, that nigga wants to sell you weed. Keep walking. You don't know this nigga.
So would you say, like, at what age?
He was in middle school when I started having conversations with him
that
like
was
that.
gonna be my,
But
as far
I
as when we
wouldn't-
expose the boys. Or the
I'm not a
kids,
parent,
teenagers.
so I can't 100% speak to why I would do that. I would just say that when I was growing up, I figured, kids that go to private school and only private school are fucking weird. So I'm going to make sure that my little cousin, even though he goes to these schools, isn't weird and he's well-rounded. I feel like if most teenagers or young adults, young kids have people in their lives that can kind of steer them or not steer them, like make your own choice. But if you smart, it's only one choice. So you're not going to choose to do something where you could possibly die or go to jail like overnight because you're not stupid. So pour into that. Like I'm going to show you exactly. I remember I took them to Cookout and they was in the back fucking fighting. They was like in the back arguing.
remember you told us that.
They was in the back fucking arguing and fighting. I was like, hey nigga, we eating in here. We sitting down. I want you to hear it. Listen to them. Listen how fucking stupid they sound. And they were arguing about nothing. And he was like, I thought that he would be like annoyed or bored. That nigga was looking back there like, damn, are they serious? Like they really acting like this? And I was like, yeah. And this is a Thursday. It's just a normal Thursday, nigga. They just act like this here. You don't want to be here. You don't want to work in the Cookout. You don't want to work in fast food, right? You don't want to do none of this shit. And that was my whole rationale for doing it. I think for a lot of niggas, like they uncles, cousins, dads, I ain't gonna say they not good dads or good brothers or good uncles. A lot of them pour more into the bullshit. They pour into the, man, you gonna let that nigga talk to you like that? You gonna let this nigga play with you like that? Or you gonna you didn't see that post? Or, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with if your son gets slapped in the back of the head and come home crying, you like, hey nigga, we gotta go up there and you either gonna have to lose this fight or you gonna have to beat his ass, but you can't just come in the house crying. That's different than, hey, this nigga stole your bike, I'm gonna go up there and I'm gonna whoop his ass or I'm gonna whoop his daddy ass for you or something like that. You showing something a little different and you giving them like a different viewpoint on how to handle conflict. It's one thing to instill like, yo, be a man, don't be scared, it's just a fight, because that's something that's been taught to men for decades.
Now, really quickly to that, I recently saw a TikTok where a little boy had told another little boy, "I'm gonna kill you." Right? So then the boy went to his uncle, said, "Yo, he outside. He said he was gonna kill me." Uncle was like, "Who said that?"
A little boy said this? Like, how old we talking about?
They had to be like 9, 10.
Okay.
So he went to his uncle. His uncle like, "Who said that? Take me to their house." So he goes up to he finds the little boy, basically letting him know, like, you said you're going to kill him? Like, we're not going to do that, da-da-da-da. The boy, then he goes, take me to your parents. So then he goes to the parents and lets the parents know, your son out here telling other kids out here that he going to kill him or they going to kill them or, basically trying to check it. So then the uncle and the dad's like, oh, I'm going to say something. And then the uncle's like, yeah, because if you don't say nothing, then it's going to be a problem. And it kind of got to a whole different
see what I'm
step.
saying?
And he's like, I'm going to do something. And the man like, all right, like I told you, I'm gonna say what I gotta say. You can get up off my yard now. So now now it's two adults going at it because Uncle took it a little further. Like
Uncle's a child.
I saw what you was doing, trying to go and tell a parent to go check your child because he out here saying things he's not supposed to be saying to another kid. But then it got to a point where they are now arguing, and this is what you're showing your children.
You teaching him that, and like we done said many a time on our own show, niggas don't know how to de-escalate situations. Like Uncle pulls up, everything up until the point where you are now like, yeah, nigga, make sure you check that.
Yeah.
It's like, why would you ever say that to somebody if you trying to make sure that you trying to teach this little nigga a lesson about how you handle things as a man when you're dealing with ignorance? That's one thing. But then on top of it, you compound that with a mistake by not showing this nigga that you don't have to step over the line and purposely disrespect somebody to prove your point. It's just you got.
But the thing about the comments was like, "Oh, Uncle don't play. Uncle don't play."
And that's what I'm
I don't
saying. A
play
lot
about-
of
he don't-
people,
I need an
people
uncle
are
like
stupid.
that. He don't play about the kids.
People generally are
et
stupid.
cetera. They were like hyping him up. And I
People
I
generally
saw what
suck.
he was doing until he got to the point of like arguing with the other parent. When the parent was like, "Okay, I see you, I hear it. I didn't know he'd be talking like that. I'ma handle it." And then when Uncle was like, "Yeah, you better handle it," or
Like, what
or
am I
if
gonna
not-
do, beat his
if
ass in
not,
front of
I
you?
will.
But see, that's-
I'll
but
whoop
that- but
your
that's the
kid
pro-
ass
but-
for you. Like it got to that point.
But that's where it comes to like the pride and disrespect of them. It's like you got to know your limits of where you want to take things, right? Because I understand you trying to defend your nephew
yeah.
or whatever like that. But when you start disrespecting somebody else, then now we gonna have a problem. And really, you didn't need to do that. You just need to be like, okay, thank you for taking care of yours. We gonna take care of ours over here. It's gonna be fine. But when you got ego, bravado, you gotta, now you might be putting yourself in a situation that's now about to get you hurt or in trouble. But then you also, like we already said, you teaching now these.
And you wanna know what the caption said? This is millennial parent. Like this is a millennial being an adult. Like
Yeah.
who made us the new adults type of situation. So then it goes back to
Are we to blame?
I feel responsible.
maybe
I told you, I
we
feel
are to blame.
responsible,
You know what I'm
man. I
are
feel
we to
responsible.
blame?
I feel
We
responsible.
don't take
man.
shit serious
I
sometimes.
I don't take most things serious, but on top of that, my generation of teenagers definitely help popularize a form of music that desensitizes niggas the earlier you listen to it, and then they had kids and let them listen to it. That's basically the crime here. Not that the music exists, not that you like the music, but why are you letting your son listen to King Von dirty records on the way to second grade?
Yeah, no.
Why would, like, you know what I'm saying? You don't think, like, nigga, I would go to school, I would watch Dragon Ball Z, go to school and try to hit a nigga right in his fucking face when I was in second grade. So I don't understand why so many parents think that their kids don't pay attention to what they say. Like, bro, one of the biggest, like, things I hate, like, at studios or events or even going to somebody's house, I smoke weed all the time, like a lot. I hate going around people that are like blasé about weed around their kids. I really hate that shit. You know how annoying, like, bro, you're behind the door, whatever, your kid is asleep or watching TV or some shit like that. That's one thing. Kid walks in the room, you don't do nothing different. You
Yeah.
don't stop, you don't put nothing down, you don't clear the air, nothing. It don't matter that.
That's how I grew up. My godparent, I literally saw the rap and everything always on the table, and I never knew what it was.
And
I was
think-
a
But they
grown-ass
But they
man.
always never smoked in front of me.
But
I
I think it depends on the value you are as a parent. Because even me, like, I hate when I'm going to go pick up my daughter or son from school and I hear parents cussing out their kids
Don't
and
like that,
stuff like
yeah.
that. I'd be like, yo, like, there's no
There's a certain decorum.
decorum, but also there's no respect for innocence anymore. And
That's
I
what
think
I'm saying,
and
yeah.
I think that also plays a part in, again, what's cool, what's not cool, how we glorify certain things and stuff like. It's like you don't allow kids to be kids anymore, so therefore kids have to grow up and they gotta be tough and they have to put on this type of bravado or this type of mask and shell of themselves, and women do too, to protect themselves so that they're not seen as weak.
Yeah.
And I think that spawns and evolves into the things that we're seeing right now. But let us know what you think. Drop a
How
comment.
can we save the kids?
Yeah, do you?
Is it our fault?
Is it millennials' fault? You know what I'm
is.
saying? Do you agree? Do you believe it's the
It is.
fault? Whatever like that.
'Cause we always do try to point blame at somewhere else. Like,
But sometimes we gotta take responsibility.
The generation before us, I feel like we've had that conversation
Yeah.
on air on our show every Sunday, from 4 to 7 p.m. on WNK.
On the Odyssey app,
on
or
the Odyssey app,
iHeartRadio app.
or Odyssey or iHeart,
Or tune in.
or
whichever
tune
one,
in, whatever you want to listen to.
Yeah.
I feel like we've had that conversation where we've always tried to point to the generation behind us, but for this, I feel like it's us.
No, this us.
It's us.
There's nobody else
this
to
the
be
one we got to
blamed.
put our hands up and be like, damn.
A bunch of niggas have kids in the last 10, 15 years. Y'all niggas don't play the clean versions of songs. These kids be riding around with you. They see the hookahs and shit like that. They see niggas not handling
the
their
vapes.
business.
They see the
They see the
hookah.
weed. They see y'all drinking and driving. They see all that shit. Girls nowadays do not care about drinking and driving. Girls specifically. I don't know about niggas.
I've seen a lot of girls get a DUI.
I've
bro.
never seen any of the niggas I know drive drunk in my entire. Maybe once in college we had to take one of my homeboys' skis. Never seen that shit. A girl will look you dead in the face and tell you she not drunk, bro. Get behind the wheel and be drunk as fuck,
DUI.
and you have no idea. The one time with my girlfriend in like college, it's a quick trip in Union City close to where I live, and they got like the little 4-way intersection, bro. She drove right over that shit and was like, hee hee, and like she was
That's
like,
such a
my
girl
bad.
thing.
I was like, boy,
To do.
I'm in that bitch holding like. I'm holding on to the shit with like my foot through the floor, and she just like, my bad. I was like, yeah,
Let
I'm
me
not
out.
fucking with this shit.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't drive. I drive everywhere now, but yeah, I feel like I'm not gonna say it's 70-30. I would say
70-30 to what?
I would say that
The-
millennials and whatever right after millennials is, we would be to blame for the normalcy
Of the
that
kids
comes
coming
with
up. Social media. all
social
of
media,
it.
virility, and music, clout chasing music, dissy music. It all can be traced back to a nigga in his mama's house shooting a video 15 years ago.
So that would be Keith.
That would be not his fault though.
You can follow us. Follow me at I'm Xavier Brandon on all social media, except for on X as Professor SPROFEZZRX. Des, where they can follow you at?
You can follow me at DesiiTeee, DesiiTeee. That's 3 E's at the end.
Austin.
Follow me at LRK So Stupid, all platforms.
And where they can follow us at?
VIS Unfiltered ATL, go tap in with us.
Yeah, run those numbers up on TikTok, bro.
Like, subscribe, and listen to the audio too. We need you to
Yeah,
listen
you
to
can
the
find us on
audio.
Spotify.
Spotify. Turn it on Spotify. Just type in Voices in the Street, we'll pop up.
Definitely. Till we see y'all next time. Love y'all. Bye. Later.